Hello YouTube. This is the night that we've all been dreading all week. I'm actually going to have two videos up tonight, one recap and one thoughts. I will video response it on the bottom. And so tonight I will be recapping the final episode of Kyle XY called Bringing Down the House. Alright, so we're going to start the episode with Kyle talking to Cassidy, and Cassidy shows him that he still has Kyle's original pod that he was grown in, and that they basically rebuilt it from what was left of Zizix. And he basically threatens Kyle with blackmail and says, if you tell anybody what we're doing here, I will tell everybody that you killed Jesse. So Kyle has to comply, even though there's a risk of a get out of jail free pass there. Cassidy says, you know, you can go on and live your life if you just don't say anything. Jesse and Kyle have kind of a cute moment. There's some attraction there, but it doesn't really lead to anything till later. Kyle decides to burn Adam's journal, and it's kind of sad because it's the only real connection that he had to Adam. And he burns it, and Nicole even says, I don't like what this is doing to you, all of this espionage and all of this sneaking around. It's changing you. You would have never kidnapped, you would have never faked someone's death or done anything like that before. So just be careful. Declan and Kyle break into Cassidy's apartment. It's kind of like the old days, if you remember season 1. And Kyle gets all of this data that Cassidy has about what's going on with the pods and all of that kind of stuff. We see that Cassidy's using an alternate name, Kingsley. Kyle remembers seeing that name in one of Adam's journals, and it turns out that the name is Grace Kingsley, and Grace Kingsley is Cassidy's mom. That is very important, and we'll definitely come back later, but that is his mom. And they look at it and it says that they're going to start cloning these babies. And Kyle's like, I thought they only used human embryos before. The big thing is that they're going to clone Kyle. All of the numbers, all of the things have a 781227 by it. They're going to clone Kyle. That's what they're doing. That's crazy. Meanwhile, Josh is still really mad that Andy left, but Declan hooks him up with some sort of webcam in her car so they can still talk. They're on good terms, just in a distance. There's still a love triangle going on with Kyle, Amanda, and Jesse. Amanda comes to talk to Kyle and tells him everything that she saw about Nate, and that all of the numbers on the paper had the number from the Ouija board that day, the 781227, which is a very nice throwback to season 1. And Kyle says just don't stay around Nate for a while, just steer clear of it. Later on though, he kisses Amanda as well. Later on he also kisses Jesse, so there's still a love triangle thing going on with that. Amanda comes to see where Kyle is, and she ends up finding Jesse, and Jesse says, you have to go to Nate's apartment and get all the files because I'm supposed to be missing. So Amanda goes, and she's talking with Jesse via an earphone, and she sees that she starts talking, and then Nate comes in, and Nate calls Cassidy and says that Jesse and Amanda are fooling around with his information. So the jig is up. Cassidy knows that Jesse faked her death. So Amanda's in trouble with Nate. He like throws her down, and then Jesse busts in, and they both knock him out. Girl power. I love those two together, so it was really cute. And they start looking up files, and Amanda warns Jesse that she's going to try to get back with Kyle as a fair warning since they're kind of okay now. Kyle is at the warehouse, and Mark and a security guard walks in, so he jumps up to a beam, and he has a syringe, but it falls out, so he's telekinetically or waterbendingly holding the syringe from afar, but he can't do it anymore, and it drops. Mark sees it, and Kyle says, you have to trust me that what I'm doing is right. Please trust me. Mark says, okay. He causes a distraction, and Kyle finishes what he's doing. But Kyle walks into his house. Nobody's there. The triggers are okay. Getting that out of the way. Cassidy's there. Cassidy shocks Kyle with the ring, Adam's ring that he's wearing, like he did in the premiere when Kyle picked it up and he got shocked. He's shocking him, and he's saying, nobody can find out about this because Latinx gonna think that I failed them. And Kyle goes, not that you failed them, but that you failed her. I know about your mom. And we find out that Cassidy's mom is actually kind of a weotch, and she would have never let Kyle live a normal life, but Cassidy kind of stuck up for him a little bit. But meanwhile, Jesse sees a folder that says Origins 781227, and for some reason she's shocked. And then, the big kicker of the episode, Cassidy threatens Kyle's family and says, I will go after everyone you ever loved. And Kyle says, Nicole was right. The person I'd been before would have never done this. And he goes, boom, and he punches Cassidy. Cassidy like goes through a wall, and Kyle is choking him. And Cassidy says, you won't hurt me. And Kyle's like, what makes you think so? And he says, because Grace Kingsley is your mother too. I'm your brother. What do I even do with information like that? You've got to be kidding me, right? Yeah. I will have a video response to this video right here and below, because this would take too long to do one video. I'm going to do one recap and one thoughts. So please click over to my thoughts video, and yeah, I will leave you on a cliffhanger like Kyle X1 just did, and go watch my other video to get the complete picture. I will see you over there.